So I was asked to address the issue, should a supervisor be friends with their employees, their immediate reports? There's danger in that, so let's talk about it. I'm Adrian from Adrian's Avenue, and I bring you information that's rich, relatable, and relevant that you can use in your everyday skills. Let's jump right into this topic. Now, there are some things to be aware of when you want to decide whether or not you want to become friends with your immediate reports, your employees. And we're going to take a look at a few things. Sometimes this is an issue for new supervisors because they're leaving a position where they may have had plenty of peer friends, and now they're in a different position where they don't have as many peer friends. Now, the first danger that we'll talk about is the danger of wanting to be liked. And this is what happens to some new supervisors. They're moved from their current position where they may have had plenty of peers and plenty of friends to a different position. And it's a little bit uncomfortable when you get that new position. So you don't want to fall in the trap of being friends with your immediate reports, your employees, just because you want to be liked. A couple of things have changed since you've been promoted to that new position. You are on the organizational chart at a different level. Whether you want to admit it or not, you are at a different level. Now, there's some things that are still the same. You both are people. The people that used to be your peers as well as you're both the people. You can recognize that. But your responsibilities have changed and your assignment has changed. And the position that you now occupy has changed. And this is something that you need to come to grips with when you said yes to that position. I can guarantee you that your team needs a leader more than they need a buddy. So make sure you are that leader and not necessarily that buddy for them. So what do you do in this position? You develop relationships with your current peers, the folks that are other supervisors on your level. Also, you can also keep the friendships that you have outside of the company. You still have those friends to talk to rely on, and to just chat with. So make sure you keep those and develop those even more. The second danger in becoming friends with your immediate reports is discussing personal and professional problems with them. Now, it's fine for them to bring you their personal and professional problems, but you need to keep the conversation appropriate when it comes to you discussing things that may be on your mind, personal problems that you may have, professional problems that may be running through your mind. It's not a good idea to discuss it with your immediate reports. These problems are your problems and not theirs. And so make sure you deal with those outside of the company or on your peer level, but not with your immediate reports. They have their own problems and they do not need to bear the problems that you have. Now, it is okay to share just general stories with them if you want to teach a lesson or just drive a point home. It's great to share stories that they can actually relate to, but stay away from sharing personal problems with them. So there will be those times that you have announcements that you want to make personally to your team about maybe what's going on in your life, such as if you're going to get married, if you're pregnant, going to have kids, going to have grandkids. Those are things that you can announce to the team that you're happy about and willing to share with them if you'd like to share that with them. But make the announcement in a team setting and not just to certain individuals. That's probably the best way to handle those announcements. The third danger in becoming this personal friend with your immediate reports is giving them advice instead of choices. As a leader, the best thing to do is go ahead and explain the choices that they may have and let them make the decision themselves. Let me warn you, when you start giving advice or pressing one thing just harder than something else, if it does not work out for them and they decide to do that, they will blame you 100% that it did not work out. So be cautious when you're talking to them. Give them resources such as books, or if your company has programs that they can use, even professional people that they need to go talk to about issues, but give them choices and stay away from giving advice as a friend. Just let me give you a few examples of this. If you had an employee come to you and just lay out a plan of buying a house, and they say, well, should I buy this house or should I wait? The best thing to do is to give them the advice to go visit with a realtor, because this is not your specialty. So go talk to someone who could help them make that decision. Another thing that may come up is when someone needs to take off for an illness and they want your advice on, well, which time should I use? If we have various times that you can use to be off, sick time or personal time, which one should I use? Lay out the options for them and let them make that decision. This is very dangerous if you would tell them, oh, I would use sick time, or oh, I would use personal time. Then if something doesn't work out, they blame you for that. So make sure you give them options and let them make the decision themselves. Now, before I talk about the final couple of things we're going to discuss today, I want you to hit that like button or that subscribe button so you can remain up to date on all the information as it becomes available to you. Now, the last and probably most difficult situation you can put yourself in by becoming personal friends with someone on the team is if it's time to make a difficult decision that involves that person. It could affect your judgment in making that decision because they're a personal friend of yours. If you need to move them somewhere or have a difficult conversation with them, but you guys are friends, that may affect how you approach it or your decision in that, because you will consider their feelings as well as, what you need to do. And if this is something that you need to do for the company or for the benefit of the team, it's something that you need to do. So this personal friendship may get a little involved when it comes to something like that. And that's really dangerous when it involves a personal relationship with an employee in a decision that you have to make for the company or the team. If you keep these relationships separate, even though the decision still may be difficult, it's easier for you to go ahead and make them when you don't have a personal friendship with someone on your team. Well, that's it. If I did not answer the question what Adrian would do, I do not have friendships with my direct reports, my employees. I keep those separate. They know that there is a line drawn between. Now, I am friendly with my employees, but there is a line that I am the supervisor and they are the employees. However friendly that we are and everything, they do recognize that and they respect that. And so I would encourage you to work on your team respecting you more than trying to become friends with them, and your relationship will go a lot further.